This is Usopp, one of the most memed characters in the Straw Hat crew, and most people say he's the weakest link. Me personally, I'm a big fan of Usopp. I think he brings a lot of comedy relief to the actual anime, and I think he has some interesting tech cards, like Soja saying that it is Usopp, but we've never seen them in a room together. That one was kind of weird to me, but this inspired me to make the meme deck of the format. In the future, we have so many Usopp cards, and I want to do something funny. And that's where we get into today's deck list, where we built the whole deck based around Usopp. I know, it sounds like a problem, but we play the Usopp leader with the Usopp cards, with the Soja cards, and use Gecko Moria, of course. We set up our 9-drop Sanjis, and we play it like a blue-yellow queen, which you saw us play a few days ago on the channel. So I think this could be fun, because we can 9-drop Sanji into Gecko Moria into Rush Usopp, swing into their life, and maybe see what we can do with it. I'm not saying it's gonna be meta, but I definitely think it can be fun. So as always, join the Discord down below for our 500 sub giveaway, which we just announced about a week ago. It ends February 27th, so you only have a limited time to join in for a chance to be in a 4-player tournament for a box of OP09 or PBR1, depending on what you win. We'll see at the end, only one will win, and let's get into some games here on the sim. Oh, I am Kendrick Lamar out here. Holy cow, I'm Kendrick. Nice. The goal today, if you're willing to accept it, is to win one game. That is it, because trust me, I've been playtesting this deck and it doesn't work. But I think it's really fun and interesting, and I think there's some combos we can add onto maybe later. I just want to pull off a 9-cost Sanji into a Gecko into an Usopp Rush, and then swing into our opponent's face. That's the biggest goal with this deck. That's why we're playing X-Drake to set the top 5, Doflamingo to set the top 5, Perona to set the top 5, and of course Usopp to set the top 5. Obviously this Perona is just so much better, so we're playing this as a 4-hub, even though it is an Usopp based deck. We have Soja here, which is also defined as Usopp in the deck. Draw 2, place 2 cards from your hand at the bottom of your deck in any order, then return up to 1 character with a cost of 1 or less back to its owner's hand. This, paired with our Gecko Moria, can also work if we use Helmeppo, bottom decking, or returning a 4-cost to hand, maybe a chump blocker that's kind of in our way or something like that. We also obviously play the Usopp Rush option that is in blue, and then times when done, if this deals damage, you may trash the top 7 cards of your deck, allowing us to kind of our trash if we need to. Another cool thing we can do is technically use this Usopp Pirates with our Gecko Moria to add an Usopp back to hand, so we can Usopp Rush later, we can add counter back, we can add the bigger bodies back, similar to like Rebecca effect. Way worse, of course, but you could technically do it. We play Kaya, T-Bone, and Suru as our 2K counters. Of course, we're running Ice Age because it pairs with our 4-cost Soja or our 7-cost Soja, which returns a 6-cost to hand. Both, this one allowing us to draw 2, trash 2, rather than put them on the bottom of the deck. Basically, we are just setting up to 9-cost Sanji into Gecko Moria into one of our Usopps and some small body. This is not going to work well, but like I said, all we're trying to do is win just one game with the Usopp deck strategy. Will it work? Probably not. Guys, if you're expecting a meta breakdown video, like, this is not the one. Let's jump into this game against Lim. I like to take first, but they like to take first. I think this kind of works with our 1-7-9. We do have this for 3, but I don't think this is a good starting hand in my opinion. I think we'll mulligan this one, and how is that even possible? We can't even Kaya on this, because then we just lose our Gecko Morias. This sucks. This really sucks. This is a horrible starting hand. 3 Gecko Morias. Any other deck, you give me Rob Lucci and you give me this, I'm feeling really good. You give me no removal on an Usopp deck and I'm not feeling so good. I don't think I want to swing them and give them more bodies. We need a way to bottom deck their 9-cost Zoro. I don't think we're in a good spot. We're going to swing 7 at face and we will use the Kaya just because we need to filter. At the end of the day, there's not much else we can do. We'll draw 2, we'll trash 2, probably being, we keep this for 7, we keep this for 9. We'll trash 1 of these, probably 2 of these. I don't even know if we'll be able to use it this game, as sad as that sounds, because usually once you get 1 off, you don't get the rest. We'll just pass turn with that. We have like counter. We have out of the well, I guess we have like 4 each of these. Everything else should have counter, because I don't think we're playing Sanji's peel off anymore. That was an option I was playing before, but yeah, I don't know. This is not looking great. They obviously tap 4 here. Interesting. They should have tapped 3. No, they tapped 3 and then used leader effect to get 1 back. Makes a lot more sense. I was like, why would you tap 4? Nope. They are cheating out a body here. Cheating out the Doflamingo, meaning they have to swing with Limb, so then they'll swing. I mean, you don't have to actually swing with Limb. Limb sets one of your Odyssey type characters active, so even without the effect, this would still stand itself up. This would stand itself up. It doesn't really matter. To give you a very specific niche situation, and now we get to set the top of our deck on the next turn, which is all right. It is just okay. We could also do the rush option here. I think we're going to set the top of the deck, though. We're going to bounce one of these cards back to hand next turn with the Soja King. So let's go ahead and set up for later. So start placing on top. So we're at 5, 7, 9. So we need to draw into some counter. And then we can 9 drop into this. So draw, play. We could also go to the Usopp Rush. Jeez. And then we are going to swing 7 into face, it looks like, because might as well. You usually swing this aggressively into Limb, usually not. But again, we don't even want to win this early. We got to keep the video going. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I just think with this deck list, I don't know if there's a correct way to play. This isn't a good deck. So our goal, like I said, is to win one single game. This is not your meta deck list. This is not the deck you want to build around. And I think we could do this with other colors too. You know, like a red, blue Nami maybe, or something like that. It's just, they don't have the Usopp vibes. Like, it's not the same thing. So, I don't know. We'll see what we can do here. 0 into us will take, of course. You know, didn't want to really counter out, but I would have if I needed to. We won't counter out of anything because we need this to return something to hand. So we'll take 5 and then block out of 6, I guess, and then return the Doflamingo blocker to hand so we can swing 5 into something else. They're trying to pick out, you know, very specifically. I think they should go Limb Searcher first, then swing 6, and then cheat out. I think it's Sabo, maybe Mihawk. They could double swing 6. Looks like just 9 at us. I mean, are they swinging this? They should be swinging this. I guess we'll take. We get a 2K counter because they should be swinging this. If they're, yeah, they weren't. I think they did that all out of order. I guess we're still learning, they're still learning Limb. We're still learning Usopp Rush deck. That's not very good. Let's see what they do here. They tap 3, obviously getting a Dawn back. They'll go to 10 on their next turn, meaning 9 cost Zoro could be in our way. But the cool thing is, no, because we're going to 9. So we might have to hold this, actually, when we go to 7 because of the 9 cost Zoro. At least this would allow us to return it to hand. That was the main reason I think we have an okay time into this. But if we can't return it to hand, we're kind of cooked. They tap 3 to put down a 2. And I guess this gets to set itself as active. So interesting. Interesting. I'm not going to say it's good, but it's interesting. If you have 2 or more Odyssey Red assisted characters, set this character as active. So what they should do is swing. Then this will set itself as active. This will set itself as active. This will set itself as active, but they choose not to swing. That is okay. We can actually just remove this with the T-Bone here instead. So I think we'll swing. We can go 6 into face. We'll remove this first, though, with the Ice Age into the T-Bone, because then next turn we can Ice Age into the Zoro and then return it to hand to give us a turn. And then it will mess up what we were trying to do, but that's okay, because then we can Gecko Moria into Gecko Moria. We need to start countering here. So we're gonna -5, T-Bone, KO, and then swing 6, at least removing one of the blockers. We can easily return this one to hand, of course, as well. We know next turn to 9 cost Sanji. Actually, it's better that we didn't play the 7 cost because we would have draw 2 Trash Dude, and we didn't even think about that. So we weren't even set up for the Sanji. So it was better to get the play line with the T-Bone there, because I always forget this card has draw 2 Trash Dude, because it's just such a stupid effect. It should be draw 2 Trash 1. This card is so power creeped at this point that I don't know a deck that it's playable in. Even in Nami, we used it, I think, at one point as like a 1-of or something. Like, it at least is a 1K counter, but a 7/6 that just returns a card to hand is horrible. And I feel like they do that to Usopp on purpose here. But who's to say? Who knows? They're going to swing 0 at us again. Of course, we are going to take. The cool thing is this can actually set itself as active as well. So this can set itself as active, set itself as active if they swing with the blocker here, which they should be doing. And then it looks like they're not going into a 9 cost play. They are playing the 4 cost Adio. If you have 2 or more Odyssey type characters, this card, rested characters, this card gains plus 1000 power. This card's not great in the deck. It's just a 2K counter. It doesn't even do what you want to, because all these cards, you're either playing the rested archetype or you're playing the restand archetype in Limb. You can't really mesh the two together, because I've tried it and it doesn't work. So we will be countering out of this with a Kaya here. We don't need the draw 2 Trash 2 because we're about to get that with our Usopp on the next turn. And they shouldn't have any rush options because nothing is active. So, I mean, We should be good. They play down the Enel here, so they don't have the 9 cost just yet. We still have an Ice Age for when they do have the 9 cost. We only return the Doflamingo to hand, so they could easily play out the Doflamingo again. It's kind of what I would expect. They get a draw 3, trash 2, which is crazy, especially when you compare it to, again, a card that's a 7-6. This is a 5-6 that lets you draw 3, trash 2. This is a 7-6 that returns it to hand so they can do it again. Like, don't think that's a very good card, but that's just my opinion. Who's to say? At least this is a 1k counter in hand, at least. I'm just saving it for, again, the 9 cost Zoro if they get it. It seems like they're running Adio for sure. They get rid of their 3 cost event. Look at the top 5. Grab 2 Odyssey type characters and put them rest at the bottom of the deck. That card's not good. I would not be running this in the deck. I'm going to be honest with you guys. And then they get Sakazuki, clearing out our blocker. So that sucks. Let me say that first. That sucks. And they get a 6-7 on the board. Yeah. Yikes. This will stand, actually, this should probably stand to this as active. I was them. Just giving up on this because you already have the board presence, and then in a 7k you can easily counter out. Again, it's all just opinion here. Everyone can play the deck differently, but that's probably what I would do because the 6k body is the one that I can swing into the most. If I'm going into the 7, see the 7, I'm not going to swing a 7. If I swing a 7, it's kind of hurting me in my opinion. You know, we'll go 0 into 0 here. That should be gone. If they want to counter, I'm fine with that because I will keep swinging into it if I have to. Do we just go for game? Do I find a way to go for game here? Now we're going to draw 2 trash 2. That's going to be important. So we should be good. They should not counter out of this. Let me say that now. You should not be countering out of this. Because I'm just going to go 5 here. And then that's like giving 1 card for 5 to face. You'd rather have the option of 5 to face in this situation. Sometimes I get it. But with a card like this, I don't think it matters. Unless you have some specific 1 cost event that's going to restand both your characters. And if you have that, then I understand it. But again, this should not take you this long to decide. Alright, 5 in the face. I'll ignore it completely. Like, I do not care. I want to let you know that now. I do not care. I'm going another 5 in the face. I will leave this on here because, I mean, you already have all the rested characters. That was literally just a bait. That was just a free clear, in my opinion, and you didn't let it happen. So we could also draw 2, trash 2 into this, rather going to Gecko Moria, but we can do this for fun, returning a character a 6 cost or less to hand. This KO is a 5 cost, so I don't really want to give them that. I think we'll return the blocker, forcing them to establish a blocker or lose on the next turn. We'll trash this and probably another Usopp Rush because that would give us counter in hand, stuff we can get back with Gecko Moria next turn. So we could technically Gecko into Usopp Rush on the next one, allowing these 2 to die, of course, when they swing, and then, yeah, should be good to go there. So we'll get rid of Usopp Rush because we can play it off Gecko Moria. It would be nice to have in hand, but I think Ice Age is going to be good to play off our 7 cost to return a blocker to hand. Again, we put them in a position where now they have a 3. They can't play down Zoro this turn. Now they can play down Eustace Captain Kidd. That is an option, especially knowing that they get to put down a 2 cost blocker from the hand now. So this is going to change things a bit. The cool thing is I can just bounce this back to hand with a Ice Age and a Soja King. I wish I had a way to bottom deck, you know? I could be playing Gravity Blade instead, but we're not. We're not. So, yeah, makes sense to me. Let's see if there's any targets to good Gecko targets. So what we could do here is burn cards out of hand instead, just by swinging into this with some bodies and then establish the Gecko Moria. Because this will be a 2k, this will be 1k. That'll be 2 cards from hand. 5 here, we are going to counter 1. I want to force them into this body. I don't want them swinging. So they're going to go 0. Sure. 0 and 5 is the wrong option. We're going to counter this as well because we're not going to be able to counter out of the 7 in life. So we have to counter and then we'll give that up. So the question is, what is better here? They would still have the blocker on the board even if you return the Captain Kidd. This does restand itself. This restands one of her other characters. Probably the Enel again, but... Oh, they didn't even put a Dawn on Captain Kidd. Bro, they literally did not even put a Dawn on it because we forced this back into hand. They didn't have a way to restand Dawn. Dude, I'm sitting here worrying, crying, creaming my pants. Like, I can literally just swing face. I can literally just win, and I could even do so probably with Kaya. Like, I might do that. 9 into face. Okay. Into face. They would just block out of it, or like the chance of it. Yeah, definitely misplayed that one. So now, I guess since we did misplay that, we could force them to... How much counter do they have? They still have a 1k Doflamingo at the very least. Let's go 6 in a face. Because now we still technically have this, and we still have this, right? So we should still be pretty safe. They still have the 1 cost Doflamingo, the 1k, and then they have a blocker. So what's best here? We return this to hand, they can't do anything. We return the blocker to hand. Gecko Moria, getting a blocker on the board, and then a draw 2, trash 2. We'll do this first so we can choose what we draw here, start placing on top. They should have to go for game pretty soon, so we can draw these two, and then next turn we will get the Usopp Rush, just in case that is our winning position. We'll trash 2, and then that at least gives us 5k. So we should be pretty safe here. We should be able to get rid of with the Suru if they're not going for a game here. And we do have the blocker on board, so we should be pretty safe. I think we just fumbled on the just straight 9 in the face right away. I should have done 7 and seen what we were doing first, but I don't know. I blanked out on it. I wasn't expecting to win with Usopp Rush, and we're getting way too close to winning. This is kind of funny. I think we do good in the limb just because the 9 cost, but the Eustace Kid returning that limb to hand I think is what helped us, because they couldn't put the Dawn on him. So obviously they put the Dawn on him this time. They're gonna swing 9 into this. That'd be 2 2Ks. We don't really want to do that, so I think we'll let this one go. We should be good to let that one go there, and should be able to block out of whatever else they do and then counter out of the rest. We can easily return this to hand, or we can just go for clearing it. Nope, not gonna happen. Now what are you gonna do, 11? Because then I'll just block. So, fun fact, I can go 10 here, right? Put 1 on, they'll block, then I can go 10 again. We're gonna counter. We know we have Usopp Rush, so I'm feeling pretty good, because now they can't kill this. They can't kill anything. They have to go 7 into face here, which we will take. We're gonna search for options. Ice Age, sure, should be game, because I can go 10 and then kill him with Kaya. He didn't even let me do it, man. We won with the Usopp deck. First try, 0 mistakes, easy game. Let's do it again. Let's do some more off meta. Let's take on a carrot. Let's see how this goes. Double, I'm not doing double Gecko. I'm not doing triple Gecko. I'm not doing quadruple Gecko. I don't want Gecko. They chose to go first here. We're feeling okay with that because this deck just wants to starve us out, and we're black, so we want to take the game as long as possible, and they're not going to expect what we're going to be doing here. So the cool thing is we can also get rid of their leader effect by bottom decking this in the future. So we're going to set the top, start placing on top. We don't even need to play this on curve. I think we're going to go with other options instead, with the Ice Age to the T-Bone or the minus on the carrot when they play that. So this will be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Boom. We're not going to be playing any draw 2 trash 2s, are we? Ooh, we might be. Oh, but we can restack after that. So if we do play this on 4, something like the next turn, that'll be draw 2, trash 2, and then we play this. Oh, no, we'll draw this, play this, and then we'll restack this to where we want it, or maybe find a Gecko Moria. Okay, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. The thing is, we might want to turn off their leader effect, right? Because they can rest this down and then swing 5 into it. They could play their Zoe stage here, playing the 1-cost Searcher for top 7 Searcher. Play it for only 1, rest this down. Yep, kind of what we expected here. I'm fine just giving this up. I am fine with that. What I would do if I was them is stand 1 active, put 1 on Wanda because it's Wanda, swing 3, and then decide if they want to starve us out or not, because we know they're going to starve us out. So we're going to take that, we're going to let it die and use it for Gecko Moria fodder later, and then we're going to just bottom deck this card. So we'll take the 5 here, and I think we're, like I said, I think we're going to do exactly what I said, bottom deck it, because they do get sand as active thanks to the Zoe stage, set one of your Minx type characters as active. And we're gonna get rid of it because that forces their leader effect off. So draw 2 and then trash 2 being this will be a deck setter in the future. I think we'll use this rather than the Drake on 6. This is better for curve and tempo. We're not playing the Usopp, we know that, right? So we should drop the Usopp. This could be come in handy. Kaya's not gonna be as good. And then we'll bottom deck this, right? So we put those to the bottom of the deck, and then we swung 5 at face and we pass. I think that was good because, again, it forces them to play out like a carrot here. So if they play out carrot, they can't use leader effect first, so they have to play out something smaller. So they play out Wanda, probably standing Dawn as active, rest this down, then play out carrot. And then for carrot, we do have an answer, which is always going to be nice because these two, to get rid of carrot, sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good to me. It looks like exactly what we were talking about is about to happen here. It's about to happen, and we're not feeling good about it. Ouch. Ouchie wah wah. We'll counter this one. Not too stressed about it. I will be removing this off the board, of course, so we should be good. We draw the Sanji. We were going to stack, though, when we drew the Sanji, so I guess we can't do that. We'll draw into the next one on 8, though, so we can bounce something, so that's okay with me as well. We'll go 5 in a face here, just getting probably another card into their hand, and I don't think I'd counter. They do counter, but I don't think I would have, being a 5-life leader. We'll clear it out and pass turn. We do put the T-Bone on the board, losing a 2k counter, losing resources in hand, but I think that's okay. We will get a lot of filter on this next turn. They rest down our 5-cost or 5k T-Bone. They have 7 Dawn, so they could play the 7-drop Bonnie, which would be a little weird. I don't know if I would vibe with that. They play out another carrot here. So they freeze this, and then they probably swing 7 here, probably just KOing it. They stand another Dawn as active, so they have 3 Dawn. They could play it on 3 cost. Do they have any 3 costs that freeze a 5? I don't think so. I think they would have frozen the 5. They should have probably froze the 5 here. But I think we're just going to stun them with, they're going to be like, what are you guys doing with your deck? Well, now you see. They could stand another Dawn as active, getting another body on the board, kind of flooding, and then 7 here. This should be the move. Yep, exactly as we expected. And then now we're going to start just forcing out big bodies here, right? So we're on 8. We could 5 and 3. We could set this back to hand, forcing them to play it out again next turn, and drawing 2 and trashing 2, filtering through the top. But then we won't have this on curve unless we draw into a Perona, which we don't know if we'll draw into a Perona. I think we'll do that. I think that's the best option. Setting the top would be nice for this, but I think it's just too slow in this matchup where we're at right now, because they're getting a bunch of swings in the face. We need to push the tempo back by returning cards to hand. So we'll return this to hand, draw 2, trash 2. I think we definitely need to keep the 3 cost to set up next turn, the Suru with the T-Bone. That would be our 10 curve, so get rid of this, and then pass turn. So at least we develop a body on the board. It's not a strong body, but it is an Usopp body, which is all we were looking for. They could 8-drop Eustace Captain Kidd in this deck, which I wouldn't be surprised if that was a future carrot move, because people are saying, hey, this card is still really good into many matchups, especially if they play the Rosen. Oops. You speak things into existence sometimes, and it kind of hurts. I was hoping to be able to clear this out pretty easily, but looks like no, that's not going to be happening here. They get out the Tashigi being very good, and then they could technically 2-cost blockers what they need to do, in my opinion, because if not, this card is not safe. They go 7 here, we have to let it go, sadly, and then, like I said, I hope we draw into an Ice Age, but that wouldn't really do much. We do get the Stacker, so I think we'll stack first, see what we get. Let's look at our trash here. We could Gecko Mori on the next turn, getting this, but that would only get a 1. So we definitely aren't Gecko Moriing this turn. I think we're just going to load up and clear out this body. So it should be a draw and then play. So I think we start placing on top. I think we'd rather draw Suru, though, for more cost minus in the future, or a 2K, rather than a draw 2, trash 2. Usopp, guys, they're not going to do much right now for us, so we'll do this. And then we're going to do kind of similar to what I said of we're going to blow this guy's back out. Hold up. Pause. We're going to go 12 and an 8. Will you give me all the cards in your hand? Because that'll be 3 cards, right? They don't have a blocker on the board. And then we'll go 8 and 8 if they do counter out. If they don't counter out, we'll just develop the 3 cost. So it gives us options here. And if they want to get starved out, we'll happily do that because we're still in a pretty safe position. They give us a 3 cost, a 1K, another 1K it looks like. I don't even think, yeah, okay. Give me all the cards in your hand then. You're going to have to give me every single card in your hand. That tells us that's non-counter, meaning it's probably another Captain Kidd. I don't think that was the move, guys. I'm going to be honest. Especially because we are about to 9-cost Sanji on the next turn. This is about to be... Well, they did have the other one. They have the Barto in hand as well. So we should be safe to put 2 here and still Gecko Moria. Because that's still going to be a strong play. They can also clear out our body. They draw 1 for the Barto because the Barto, let's draw 1, trash 1. So they don't get anything. No cards in hand. So we could go for clearing out the Captain Kidd. They should go 7 here, forcing out a 2K T-Bone. We will have double Suru next turn, but that won't really do much for us. We could Suru into T-Bone, clear this out. 5 and a 2, you got it. I'm not going to sit there and fight that. And then 2 extra Dawn for what? We don't know, but the thing is, do we establish the board or do we force out the blocker? Because we could go 8 here, forcing the blocker, and then, yeah, just give up. Wow. That is crazy. We've won 2 Usopp games because we were about to swing 8 into this. They'd have to give us the blocker, and then we're still safe. So we're not at a point where we die. We have a ton of 2Ks, so we would have 9-costed into this, into Usopp as active, into stacking the top 5, or a draw 2, trash 2, or a Perona to stack the top 5. Probably Usopp's just a little stronger. But yeah, I think we were pretty safe, and then we get another 9 off the top, and then, yeah, we were big chilling that one. Holy cow. Everyone's like, oh, you're playing off meta, you're playing off meta. Let's see what happens when we don't play off meta. We have 6K counter, a rush option, and a Sanji. Let me show you what happens when we don't play off meta. Like when we actually play against a meta contender here, because you saw the first 2 games. We always do 3 games. This one is going to be the game that shows you what this deck is really about. We're about to go 8 in the face, call it a day. There is no better place for Purple Luffy. There is no better place. We're going to let them take that, sure, whatever. I don't think you'd counter out because you're already at 4. Next turn, you know you go into 7. So you just don't beat us to the punches quick with Purple Luffy going into this kind of format. But they should play on a 5-cost blocker just in case. They swing 5 in a face. We are going to take. Not too stressed about it. I think I was just thinking too much. And they get Sangoro. Sangoro meaning we can't do much here because we can't Suru, we can't do anything else. So we're gonna go 5 in a face here. They're gonna ramp up to 8, it looks like. So we're going to swing 6 with Usopp and set up our trash a little bit. I think that's what we're gonna do. We will mill out if we have to. Mill the top 7 cards, play a Nami effect almost. Yep, they do counter out. We're gonna go 1, swing 6, get another card out of hand because they're not gonna take that life. They shouldn't unless they just don't have a 2K. They of course have a 2K. Now they're gonna swing 6 here, we're gonna let it go, and then they're gonna swing 5 face, and then they're gonna Luffy Taro. They should not take another. I guess you take 1 to draw 1. I guess that makes sense. And then you can technically swing 6 and 6. You could also go 7 here. You could go 5 and then 7 into face or this card. There's many options here. I think 6 and 6 is what I would do just to get 2Ks out of hand. And it kind of depends. It looks like they may go the 7 because you don't need Gum Gum Giant at this point unless we continue to rush them down. They go Onami, interesting. So they don't have Luffy Taro, which is good to know. They're going to trash 1 card from hand and draw 2 new cards. A 9-cost Luffy, meaning they usually have 2, or they have a 9-cost Big Mom, which they're way more, you know, they're wanting to play that a lot more. And ignore all the cats in the background. There's Big Mom. Everyone asks if her name's really Big Mom. Big Mom. Big Mom. Come here. Not you. This is Big Girl. That's Big Mom. This is Petunia over here. You can't even see Petunia, but she's the sweet chunky one. They get a law, grabbing an Usohachi 2K counter from the top. They have 8 cards in hand. Pudding may be good for this deck. Literally, you could Gecko Moria into Pudding. How crazy is that? They played on another law, grabbing the Zoro Joro. They'll have 2 left, so they're trying to see what they have left, I guess, and then swing, which they should go 7 here and then 6 here. We're going to let it go. We're not too worried about it. And then we will counter out of this one with the Helmeppo because we're not going to need that cost minus, I don't think, because we are going to swing 5 into face here. They have a 1-up for Gum Gum Giant. They don't need it because we are going to 7-drop Soja King. We haven't been able to stack the top, so we might take a raw, nasty, dirty 9-drop Sanji on the next turn, drawing 2 and placing 2 in the trash here. So that's going to be good because we have a ton of counter and a ton of options. I think Rush Usopp would be good in the future. We could even go into a Gecko Moria play on the next turn. They should counter out. Yep. We're going to return Sangoro to hand, drawing 2, and we have another Sangoro there. So we'll drop a Kaya, and I like this just in case they don't 9-cost on us. We could also Suru and something else into this. The Perona could be good for next turn to stack into the 9-drop Sanji. So if we're going with these plays, are we worried about countering out right now with the board they have? No, because we're still at 3 life. So we should drop counter for the other card, being the T-Bone, just so we have the cost minus in case, instead of going for the Perona play. So we have many options here. We can go, cost here. We can go Suru into Soja King. We can drop this down and rush in. They do have the Luffy Taro now, so they must have drawn into that because they did not search it with the law, so they should play out the Zoro Joro in my opinion. I think Sangoro's a little too late at this point, but that's just, again, personal opinion and preference. Everyone's going to play how they play rather than how I say to play. So they cheat nothing out. I don't know what's going on there, but we will take this, and we should be pretty okay at this point. We're going to stack the top, see if there's something we can cheat out. And there is. We could return the blocker to hand and really hit face here. Or we could, if we only had the 4-cost Usopp in trash, we can also rush in with Usopp from hand. I'm trying to decide if I want to go into Gecko Moria here or if I want to go into Soja King. But Soja King, I can't bounce anything. So I think we go into Gecko Moria and then draw into the Soja King. No, he's drawing a blocker and then maybe Soja King because we should play this on our next turn, right? With the mixed with this. The Helmeppo could be good for cost minus mixed with this, though, to bounce cards in hand. So I think we'll actually do that. I think that should be the order. And then, we only have 8. Whoops. All right, well, we're going to swing 5 in a face. I forgot we're on 9. We're not on 10. Well, I did all that for nothing. So that completely fumbled. Guys. I forgot we took first. For some reason, I thought we had second because we're going against Purple Luffy. You always get second against Purple Luffy. But not on this one. Not on this one. We are going to Suru this and then 7-drop Soja King. Draw 2, trash 2. We'll have the Gecko Moria in hand for next turn and call it a day. Return this to hand, draw 2. We're going to trash this, and this will be good to restack just in case. This will be good to finish off the game, though, but we can get that back later. I'm not stressed about it. I'd rather have the counter in hand. Excuse me, Petunia. All right, pass turn, dude. I think I'm starting to actually cook with this deck. Like, the worst part is, like, we have so much tempo from these 7-drop Soja King secrets that nobody really talks about. I mean, it's not a horrible card. They go -1. They should actually cheat out a body this time. Zoro Joro, like we expected last turn. I think they just misclicked, possibly. And drew into the Gecko Moria. We know next turn we're drawing into the 7-drop Soja King. We can Perona, see if there's any other big bodies on the top. If not, we can put them on the top. We can go Gecko Moria. They should try to clear out our board here. We should give them a 2K if they do swing 7 here into 6, or they go 7 into face. 7 into face, is that the place? I think we take, because we are going to be able to bounce bodies back to board or back to hand if we want to off the Usopp. We should keep our counter. I think we should be good. I like this now, because we can technically just ignore this play, and we could do another 7 cost bouncing this back. We go 5, 6, 6 into face, a bunch of small bodies. They already gave us the Usohachi. We don't know what other counter they have. They grabbed another Luffy Taro from their Zoroshiro, so that's not counter. We could also Gecko Moria. Gecko Moria is definitely an option, but it doesn't pair with what we have in hand or in our deck right now. I would like the 1 cost or the 4 cost Usopp to play with the Helm Eppo to return this to hand, and then they would only have these 2 swings coming in. So I think we just go this with none of these are options. This will at least stack the top. Trying to think if we want to get a blocker on board. Either way, we're using Tendon, right? So I think we just swing 5 and decide based off what they do, maybe. Because these are at least counter in hand. That's the only other thing about it, is those are counter. So if we play this and there's nothing, we kind of just lose out on the Sanji. We just lose 1,000 counter. Because we know the next 3 cards aren't, we'd have to hope that 2 cards are, and the options are kind of limited for that. So we'll go 6 in a face, see what they decide to do, and then we can play down Perona and then decide. I think we will Perona, just to see if there's an option. Place this on top. That was behind that. So now we know what we're doing. We go 6 again, and then we will be playing down Gecko Moria. I mean, Sanji. Wow, I'm crazy. Oh, they Gum Giant on a 6K swing. That's cool with me. I'm gonna get every card out of your hand, it looks like. So we're going to 9 drop into Gecko, into Kaya. So 9 drop, develop this. We're going to bring this out. Do we even Kaya at this point? They have to go for game. I think we have to Kaya. That's the only issue here. And then we'll replace this with Kaya. So we should have stacked for the draw 2, trash 2, but we'll be okay here. And then we can drop a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we go for these 2 just in case we need it. We'll pair it with that. We'll go another 5 in a face here, getting another card out of hand, and then kind of them under pressure. So not really under pressure because they have a large board. They have 3 bodies to swing with. This will be 2K, 2K. This will be 2K. We'll only have 2 cards in hand after that. So it depends on if they play. I mean, if they play a 9 cost Luffy for rush, we're still safe if they go for lethal, because 6K is a 2K. They should swing 5. That's 1. 8 is 2K, 2K, which we have, and then the 9 we take into life, or they clear out a body. But either way, we should be pretty set up. We need to just have an option to return this or kill this, which we don't in the T-Bone right now because we don't have cost minus. If they go 8, they have 9. They could ramp into 10, so we have to counter, right? So we will counter out and then say, do your worst. 6, counter out again. It looks like it is a 9 cost turn. It is possibly a 9 cost turn. But if they 9 cost, they have to take a life to get an extra thing for their character. Now they have to really decide on what they want to hone in on. Because if you could put 5 here and guarantee, or 4, yeah, here to guarantee a 10 into 7. Granted, they could also just put 3 there. Go 6 for a blocker, go 5 cost Eustace Captain Kid, leave 1 up for Gum Giant, which is definitely an option. I think that's the best option. You definitely need a blocker up here. 5 into face. Yep, we have to counter out of this, guys, and we have to go for game on the next turn. So that's the only issue of why we're going to keep this in hand rather than the blocker, because there's no way we live next turn, because this should be a 9 cost either Big Mom or Sanji, or I mean Rush Luffy. And now I think it's going to be a 9 drop Big Mom, because you discard a card, you get to gain a life, basically going even in that, and remove one of our bodies, probably being the Usopp from hand. So, oh, I guess this is just math. So if we take that, they put 6 here and we lose, so we have to counter out, and then they could go 3 again and then 3 again, but then they just lose. If this is 1K counter, they would just lose. So at least we did get out of that, guys. So we did set up our hand properly. It looks like that's what they're gonna do. All we needed was 1K counter and we got it. Like, deck has only so many bricks. Oh, I didn't even think about that. They have 4 here. Wow, we needed a 2K counter. That's so stupid. This guy was cooked if he didn't. He should have done exactly what I said. He had everything he needed. That's so stupid. I love Purple Luffy players. This said GG's in the chat, man. I said GG's. Don't hate. That was funny. Now he just leaves. He doesn't even say GG's. Yeah, he would have lost since he did that. He was trying to decide between these 2. He should have just 9 drop Big Mom, gained a life. He could have even sat on the Gum Giant, discarded one of these, draw 2. Why are you playing this card? Interesting. I mean, shoot, for a meme deck, I really don't think we did that bad. I'm pleasantly surprised by the action we did get with this Usopp deck list. The 9-cost Sanji obviously being clutch 24/7 when you need it, stacking into it while also having the ability to do it into Gecko Moria. Yes, I know there's way bigger plays into certain cards with Gecko Moria mixed with blue into Jinbei and Buckin. Buckin will cheat out Weevil, a 6-cost that allows you to draw a card, and then Weevil cheating into like Boa or some other Warlord of the Sea type character. Like, there's so many crazy blue-black combos, but again, this was just a meme Usopp deck, and I thought it was really funny, a lot of fun, and I think I might bring this to locals. Like, we get the ability to use these EB02 cards. Like, no, they are horrible, but I think it would be fun. We have this EB02, this is a promo, and do we have any other EB02? I don't think so. As always, if you enjoyed the content, make sure to like and subscribe. Join the One Piece family for more videos very soon. I love you and your mama, and this one was a lot of fun for me, man. Getting to sit there and just play Usopp after Usopp after Usopp and actually not do too bad. Like, it was fun. That was a lot of fun. GG's. I'll see you in the next one.